Apparently you guys have been missing out on peak advertising and teasing that happened before Zenless was actually like fully announced. This was my favorite part of the game whenever it was originally being teased, and so I did a little poll on Twitter here to see. I was like, I'm genuinely curious, since they don't lead to the website anymore, because it used to be the only website for Zenless. I was like, hey, ZZZ enjoyers, have you all seen the creepy videos that they used to show as teasers that they dropped every day before the game was revealed? 56% said no, which honestly I'm just so sad about, because the teasers are what made me completely fall in love with the game, and I've been covering the game since it was originally announced, all the way back in, it was May 7th of 2022. Okay, I was covering when the page first came up, and it had the little teaser page. So I wanted to go through today, and we actually did this on stream not too long ago. I think it was before the closed beta test 2 came out, or maybe it was before the first one started. But I wanted to revisit this teaser site and see if there was anything else that was like hidden in there, because I went crazy for these teasers. So I do have the teaser site pulled up. When it was originally teased, the only website that was available was this website here, which, as you can see in the video that I had, originally had a calendar off to the left and a clock on top of the TV. The clock was counting down to a new teaser for the following day, and it had May 13th circled on the calendar. That was when the website fully launched, the trailer came out, and we got to see what Zenless actually was. But right now, the calendar's gone, and the clock is gone. This is 2 years later. This is in a couple days. It'll be the 2-year anniversary of this site officially being live. So it's perfect for us to take a little revisit, a little 2-year adventure back in time. Originally, there was only one, and whenever you click on this, you can see it's glowing. There is little teasers that they dropped, and then again, like I said, every day they came out with a new one. So for those that have not seen these, I'm going to let these play out in full. That way you can see them each at one time, and then I'll explain what I was thinking and everything whenever it was originally first revealed. So let's get into the first one.
A sub-hollow has suddenly appeared on the Janus Quarters August Street some 30 minutes ago. Public security has established a Level 2 control zone and is currently evacuating residents.
So when that one first came out, it was kind of like, honestly, it was really cool to go through and try and figure out exactly what was in the background of that one. But as you can see, I'm actually going to pull up the video that I had here because I did react to it. In fact, I think actually the first day there may have not. Oh yeah, there was. So I was very confused, and of course I'll have these videos linked in the description, or you can click in the top right corner there and it'll lead you directly to there. But the only thing we knew about this game was these weird spatial hollows. And then we didn't really know what any of this said, but this is actually what allowed us, these little subtitles here, to start deciphering the original Zenless language. There's 2 different Zenless languages, and what this says is exactly what the announcer is saying. So a sub hollow has been detected, or what does she say? A lot of stuff here that we can actually interact. Yeah, a sub-hollow has suddenly appeared at Janus Quarter Street. Yeah. We were able to figure that out, and then that's what allowed us to start seeing what symbols line up with what letter of the actual alphabet. And so in the future teasers, I covered every single one. I have a playlist here. You can go through and go back and watch them if you want. They're old. The camera quality isn't great. My mic quality wasn't good at the time either. It wasn't terrible, but yeah, this was 2 years ago. And so then our second one was we ended up getting this, which was way creepier.
Okay, long story short, we've recorded this as a declaration, but of course not officially. Just look at these. Doomsday. Curses. Don't believe it. Aside from that, doomsday, disaster, curses, lies. In short, we are being reborn. You are involved. Partner of ours. A professional. We need you to undertake difficult commissions. You must step up and be involved. Don't be afraid, even if it's annoying, dangerous, difficult, impossible. It will not be a problem. You understand, right? They aren't just, and they aren't. You can do it. I'm sure of it. When you're done, you can leave. That's all I have to say. It's okay if you didn't understand. All said and done. Goodbye.
And so as you can tell, at this point, we had not seen anything of what Zenless actually was, and these give off completely different vibes than what the game actually is, right? And so it's really, really interesting to see that this is actually what they led with when it came to teasing the game. And you'll see, I'll show you later, but I like when they fully revealed what the game was, I did get a little bit of whiplash, just because everything leading up to it was not the like go lucky type of upbeat deal that it actually is in game, which we'll get into that. I think there's an entire I think this game will end up becoming extremely dark, especially due to its higher age rating. And we have seen a little bit of this in the actual game, in forms of the audio chips that we can find in Hollow Zero, but we'll get more into that in just a little bit. But here, I ended up taking because you can actually end up saving the videos, and if you go on HoloLab, they have just the straight up video, like the raw video file that they put on the TV. And so we would actually go through, and again, if you want to go back and see these videos, they're there. But we went back and watched them frame by frame, basically, to try to decipher what those little flashes were on the screen. And on that first teaser, that one should actually, I meant to say this before, but that first teaser should look familiar. It is actually the opening of the game when Belle and Wise are standing around the couch and they're looking at the TV. That is the actual news report that is currently happening when the game starts. So that one's really, really interesting. But here in the second teaser, the little flashes were actually just the ethereals, for one, whenever it was saying like disaster and stuff like that, it was showing different shots of the ethereal enemies, and it was also showing different shots of the city, or around the city. There was one big shot that you should have recognized, that was the actual New Eridu big area where you actually fight the dead-end butcher. If you have seen anyone fight it, or if you're in the beta yourself, then you would remember. This is the end. That would be the end of Nekomata's chapter. And so we went through frame by frame and actually like lit up the image to see if we could find any secrets or anything in there, because these sort of teasers really it really sparked the curiosity in me, and that's why I fell in love with it so much, was because these sort of teasers I fell in love with back in Call of Duty Zombies. If anyone ever played that, whenever we do Easter eggs, or they would like lead up to stuff teasing to new maps or whatever, there was always these kind of interactive websites every once in a while where you could find secrets, and every couple days they would change something, and then you'd have to figure out, like, you'd have to do ciphers and whatnot to figure stuff out. And so I thought that they were going to go super heavy into that. Unfortunately, it wasn't so much of like puzzle solving and stuff like that, but it was still really interesting to see these type of like creepy teasers as opposed to how the game actually is now. I won't go through the entire thing and show you what every shot is. That if you want to do that, then you can just go to these videos where I literally go frame by frame and try and see exactly what it is. And then the third day, this was the first kind of instance of us getting like a completely different tone, right? Because the first one was catastrophe, Hollow Zero news report, you know, like stay away, don't go near it. And then that guy telling us that he needs our help and we got to go on these commissions, it's gonna be dangerous. And then the third day we got this.
beyond imagination. Nitro Fuel, ignite your passion.
Which, what? So for those that haven't seen that teaser, I guess, yes, there are other animals in Zenless. It's not just, you know, Von Lycan and Miyabi. There are other types of animals there. And we did see a tiger in the story, but anyway, don't worry, there'll be more furries in the game down the road. I'm sure we'll get some of those different races as characters as we go along. But that one was super interesting because, again, it was just like a kind of complete vibe shift from what the other two teasers were. And so this is when I started wondering, like, what type of game, like what are they going for lore wise here? And another interesting thing that I started to notice was all of these teasers, the only options, and actually it's kind of funny, you might not be able to scroll, they got rid of the CN version, it looks like, on here, but back on the original, when it first dropped, the only options were English and Chinese. It looks like now, if you look at it, the only options are English and Japanese, which is pretty interesting. But it was, I knew that the game was going to have an English dub immediately, and for those that remember the first beta, I was actually kind of thrown off when the first beta started because there was not an English dub in the first beta. It was only Japanese and Chinese, and it was so weird to me. I was like, I don't understand why they teased the game in English if they weren't going to have an English dub. But obviously in the second beta and the current beta, we do have a full English dub, which was introduced in the second beta. But on day 4, we went back to the creepy stuff. We ended up getting this.
Lies. Don't believe this. The truth. We want the truth. Disaster. Lies. It's all fake. It's not us. We just want to bring about a lively, a joyous, astonishing, and heartfelt. It's all true. That's all. Watching our world. We're the story. Me, as a mediator. Illegal and shady. This is for everyone. Those monsters, places, big shots, ruthless people remain silent. So we'll fight. Hypocrites. Liars. Defeat them. It's amazing. Relax. Rest. Wait a few days. It'll all be all right.
Which, again, was a very, very interesting way to do it. I believe at this point, I originally thought that this was going to be, because again, we didn't know anything of what the gameplay was or anything like that. So we originally, or I originally proposed the idea that this may actually be the shooter that Hoyo was originally working on. I do believe that that shooter that they were working on did end up getting canceled. But because of the gunshots that you saw there at the end, I thought, you know what, this might actually be the shooter. But if you recognize the voice at the end of that one, that was actually the voice from the original teaser that dropped, the first one. And at that point, that one was a really creepy one because it seemed like that first voice kind of silenced the one that was panicking and telling everyone that it's all lies and conspiracies and all this stuff, and started burning the guy, or burning the area that he was in. And so then we started going down a whole company conspiracy things, and we originally got the idea that the company that was behind everything was the new Eridu metro station, because again, we went in and we took screenshots and brightened up the images of every little flash, and that is where we saw the big area again. When he said lies, it showed the new Eridu metro station. That's where the dead end butcher, you fight that guy. And It was just super interesting to see exactly where this was going to go. And then when that one dropped, I actually did, because the two people from the original teaser and this one were speaking, I was like, I wonder if we can find any secrets, because again, I was in the zombie Easter egg brand. I wanted to claw at this thing and figure out what this game was and the secrets that it had. And so I tried grabbing the audio files of both of those teasers of the guys talking and putting them on top of each other to see if it lined up. And it did actually line up a little bit, nothing crazy, unfortunately, but let me see if it was, where did they show it? That was day 3, and then day 4 is where we had this one. And then yeah, I'm actually just gonna play this little snippet of the audios lining up here just to see, just so you can see.
But of course, not officially. Just look at these. Doomsday. Lies. Curses. It's all fake.
Okay, listen. This is, so it did line up a little bit, and obviously you could see that I kind of thought that I was onto something. Not really, unfortunately, but it is still, again, it went super creepy. And then they finally had a 2-day break after this teaser. There wasn't one for a day, and then we live streamed the final teaser. And that actually ended up being the reveal trailer, which is where he found out exactly what the game was. So when we refreshed the page, instead of them dropping another video on the TV, it actually did just fully load the oh, it's still Zenless. 10:59. You're right. Let me mute myself for a second. It just straight up gave us the official Zenless site. Okay. Which I started vibing to the music, but I was thrown back because the visuals and the aesthetic that they're giving here was nothing like the original teasers. And so again, like I said, I don't think that they completely just decided against going with that sort of vibe and going the dark route, because they teased the game that way for a specific reason, you know what I mean? And so, unfortunately, I know a lot of you didn't get to see those teasers, or even know that those teasers existed, so I kind of wanted to bring them back, because we do still get remnants of those vibes and the company conspiracy stuff with the Hollow Zero audio chips that we can find, which does actually give us a little bit of lore of Eridu, which was the city before Hollow Zero struck, which destroyed the city, and then they had to rebuild, and they became New Eridu, where they were able to extract the ether from the hollows and sort of use that and integrate it with their own technology and be able to survive next to the hollows and stuff like that. And so while New Eridu is not the only city left, I could go super into the lore, but New Eridu is not the only city left. They're just one of the only ones that can actually use the ether in the hollows to sort of liven up the actual lifestyle back to what it could have been back in old Eridu. But it was just such a whiplash of what the vibes was. But for those that haven't seen the audio chips in Hollow Zero, due to the fact that that's the only place that has the remnants of what this sort of vibe was. Let me go ahead and show you what those audio chips were. Okay, so the first audio chip that we were actually able to find was this one in the hollow banks. And so these are kind of long, but I'm just going to kind of let these play out so you can hear them, in case you haven't seen them or anything from any other content creators playthroughs or seen it on my Twitter. So let's just go ahead and get right into this one.
Warning, warning, a hollow disaster has struck.
Run! Does money mean more than your life?
My brother! I want my brother!
Go that way.
Thank you.
You still got time to care about some random kid? Hey, now everyone's gone. I bet the bank is empty. How about we make a quick score? Besides, once the hollow reaches here, the cash in the bank will be gone anyway. Why let it go to waste?
Welcome to Eridu Bank. We'll provide your
I had no idea it was this huge inside. I can't even imagine how much money there must be in here.
The vault's in the basement. Let's go.
This has to be the best day I've had in over 20 years. How are we gonna celebrate later?
We gotta make it out of the hollow alive first.
You're no fun. Get going. When I'm rich, the first thing I'll do is find a doctor to do something with your poker face.
Are you done with that bag? Something don't feel right. Let's get out.
Look what I found!
You couldn't hit a target half a meter away. That gun's useless to you.
At least I... Forget it.
Get the money bag up here fast. We gotta get out of this hollow before it swallows us. I'm gonna be rolling in money.
Completely forgot to unmute my mic in this section. But just to recap a little bit of what I was saying was it was really interesting to see these audio chips and how that one was based in old Eridu, and it was cool to see the sort of snippet into some of the people's lives as Hollow Zero was first striking down and causing some disastrous stuff in their lives, and those people decided to end up raid the bank. But it was just interesting to actually get some lore of old Eridu through these audio chips. But on to the next one.
Rock, are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I'm Parker now. Use the right name. Besides, we're here now, so don't tell me you're bailing on us now.
But this commission's to investigate Hollow Zero, and the other people here all seem to be, you know, actual, real investigators. What if people find out about our fake license?
Now listen to me. Think about our life before. We were treated worse than dogs. You don't want to spend the rest of your life homeless in a hollow, scavenging for scraps of etheric matter, do you?
No, I don't.
Then shut up. There's more loot down in Hollow Zero than you could possibly imagine. If we could pull off this one heist, then we can...
Next, please.
Coming.
Your investigator license or other official documents, please.
Alrighty. Here you go.
Is everything okay?
Mr. Parker, investigators will be briefed in conference room 6. Please go straight inside and turn right. Mr. Parker?
Oh, yes. That's me, Mr. Parker. Thank you. We'll be off then. Moving. Quit dawdling.
There's a sucker born every minute.
So as you can see from that one, the government official was allowing right? You heard that their credentials failed, but they still allowed them into Hollow Zero, which, for those that don't know, Hollow Zero is incredibly dangerous, and if you are not trained to go into hollows like that, you are going to die. It is too dangerous to go in there like that if you're not approved and actually had training on how to survive in there. And so this is where it starts to get into the government knows, is the government doing something with the hollows? And we originally had the theory that the government was creating the hollows, which now I don't really know if they're the ones who created it, because while the first one, like I was saying, and this one, we did get a peek into how old Eridu was. We don't really know how advanced the technology was before the Hollow Zero struck and kind of reset some stuff, and then they advanced again when they were able to figure out how to actually extract ether from the hollows. But what we do know is there's hollows on the moon now. So unless their technology was good enough where they were able to do stuff on the moon, or if the government was just secretly testing on the moon and created hollows, it does look like the entire dark side of the moon is one giant hollow. You can kind of see from the shine in the image that I'll have on screen. But yeah, it's just interesting to see where the hollows actually came from and originated from. But again, more with the government type of situations. We then have this one, which these are the only three that I have. I'll probably find more as I continue playing, but for now, these are the only ones that I have.
Sir, this is the 9th case of a Hollow Zero investigator's identity being forged this week.
Remind everyone, When similar cases crop up, it's okay to turn a blind eye. There's no need to report such cases to me in the future.
Is it really okay to let so many unofficial investigators in? Especially when they look like Hollow Raiders?
What's the issue? It doesn't matter who they are, so long as we can get some valuable information out of it. Besides, those Hollow Raiders went in on their own. They've saved us loads on protective gear and supplies.
But the fatality rate...
Their names aren't in the official records, are they? So let them go. As long as I get some data out of it, they could be a dog for all I care.
And so that's where it really starts to like, oh man, like obviously that guy was panicking for a reason, and then the other one like silenced him whenever he got a little too crazy. He was trying to tell us that it's all lies and all this stuff. So the main where I think I'm really looking forward to where the story's going to go is what the government is actually up to and what they're hiding when it comes to the Hollows and stuff like that, because they clearly don't care about the people enough to, you know, the government is shady. They're gonna use some people to get some information whenever they can, and they don't care if they go into Hollow Zero, even if they're not approved. And yeah, so it's gonna be really interesting to see where the story goes. There was actually another part that I could show back in Beta 1, and again, since this is Beta 1, odds are they may have either moved it in the storyline or completely taken it out. But if you guys remember in the current storyline, there's a part where a hacker gets into the HDD system, and it was like a little bit after it's a little bit before we get Fairy, and so in the first beta, after we get that little like hacking thing and we end up getting Fairy, once we sign the contract and have that little conversation with our sibling, whichever one you choose, then it cuts to an area outside of New Eridu with a conversation between a man and a woman, where the lady's like, which one was it? Was it Fairy, Jin, or something else? There was 3 different like strong boxes that she said, and we did a bunch of like theories on it, and it seems like that if they didn't take it out, then there is going to be sort of other strong boxes that are going to end up being involved in the story. And there are going to be probably different AI systems that can control different aspects of the Hollow. Fairy is able to, you know, basically steal the carrot data from the government and map out an entire exit of the Hollow. And also just is able to access, what was it, like 89% of the smart technology in the city. And so the other AIs might be able to actually just straight up like maybe create a Hollow or alter the Hollow in some way. But that conversation, because it was outside of New Eridu, and obviously it was the creators of Fairy, and they were interested in seeing how it was going to go because it was given to some just civilian, which is us in the story. And so again, I don't know if that's like completely removed or what that plot point might lead to in the future if they end up going that route, but that also was the same vibe of like, oh man, the government's hiding something, like the story is going to go this sort of eerie route. But yeah, I just wanted to show that because I really found like that part really interesting when it comes to the game. And again, with the content that I used to make, I ended up making it a complete lore video for closed beta test 1, and I actually, if you guys are interested in seeing, I'm kind of getting off topic here, but interested in seeing how a lore video is actually made, I did live stream. You can see all these here, every single aspect of creating a lore video. I did the research phase, the finishing research, editing, brainstorming how I'm going to structure the video, and then actually editing it and finishing the script and doing literally everything there. But I really wanted to showcase that teaser vibe aspect, because I don't think it's going to completely go away. And so the way that I did it in, I'm going to just play the intro of this lore video here, because I just want to showcase that I do think that this is going to be important. So here's what I did here.
Welcome to New Eridu, where humanity rises anew. Your new life living next to the Hollows. Hollows can be found in New Eridu, quite a few of them. Wait, don't start screaming. There's no need to panic. Living next to a Hollow is the hallmark of this miracle city. The founders of New Eridu mastered the technology to deal with the Hollows, and even the ability to extract extract ether from them. The entire city's prosperity relies on the precious resource, a magic exclusive to New Area.
A sub-hollow has suddenly appeared on the Janus Quarters August Street some 30 minutes ago. Public security has established a level 2 control zone and is currently evacuating residents.
Hello, and welcome to the Zenless Zone 02. Yeah, I really wanted to, you know, try and get those vibes in there because it was going to be a lore video. I didn't want to completely leave out a massive part of the game, which is how they teased the game originally. And so, yeah, throughout this video, I kind of have those little weird glitches, and I go over the covers and stuff that they showed on Twitter with the different magazines and stuff like that. And yeah, anyway, let me know what you guys think. If you have any theories on where the storyline might go, if you think that they might end up sort of going this government control route, which I definitely think they will. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the teasers, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing that, because I really want people to see it. It's really cool. It's literally why I fell in love with the game. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything else, I can always tell you in the comments. I've been covering this game since before it was even like revealed. So I know damn near as much as I can. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Mwah.